I'm going to start. All right, perfect. So I have my handy notes here. Make sure I don't miss a single thing for you guys. And today we're going to start with, give me 1 second. If I can see the microphone, that'd be awesome. Okay, so today we're going to start with understanding what shyness actually is, why you're feeling shy, and kind of creating the next goals and motivations that you need to have to actually overcome the social shyness, the social anxiety, especially when it comes to women and just people in general, so that you can connect with them a lot better. Over the last few years, you know, I went from, if you actually talked to me 7 years ago, I used to shake when I would talk to people. I couldn't talk to people at all. And it got to a point where I remember this girl that I had a huge crush on. She opened up the door for me and she was holding it. And I just stood there and I was shaking. And she looked at me and she said, "Are you okay?" And then she just got creeped out and just left. And that's where I started from. That's how much social anxiety I had, to the point where I couldn't even go out in social places and talk to people. And so these are the things that I really started to think about and started to do in order to actually overcome that anxiety. And if you guys take this seriously, one thing I want you to know is that, you know, you're not going to be able to fix your social anxiety in a few days. Okay. I'm going to give you the foundations of what you guys need to do so that you can fix your social anxiety, but it's going to have to come through repetition. You're going to be having to constantly put in the effort, constantly put in the time to actually doing this. Okay. And if you don't, then with everything that you want in your life, with every single thing that you want to actually achieve in your life, it comes through consistency. There's nothing that you want that's going to be able to, you're going to be able to have it within a few days or a few hours or a few seconds. Everything comes with consistency. Even the Dalai Lama, actually, I'm reading a book called The Art of Happiness, and he talks about how the truth to happiness is to consistently put in the efforts to getting rid of the negative emotions that you actually have. That's all he did. He was just very consistent over a long period of time, and that's how he became the Dalai Lama. So I'm super, super excited to start. Let me see if I can pull. Can you guys see my whiteboard right now? Type yes if you can see my whiteboard right now. Okay, yes, yes, everyone can see it. Okay, let me type something here. Can you guys see me typing at all or on the whiteboard? Let me see. All right, cool. So the very first thing that we're going to do in day 1 of this program, all right, day 1, is understanding what social shyness actually is. What is it? So the first thing you have to understand is how your brain works, okay? And basically your brain is split up into 3 parts. So I'm going to draw a really basic brain here, okay? And your brain is split up into 3 sections, okay? The very front part of your brain, this is called the neocortex, okay? And the neocortex is mainly the part of your brain that focuses strictly on logic, okay? You're focused on logic, you're focused on thinking. This is the part of our brain that's been utilized so that we can become really at the top of the food chain, right? It's like, as humans, we're at the top of the food chain. We are the most intelligent, quote unquote, intelligent creatures. Okay? And this is where we have the benefit. It's like we have that logical thinking brain. Okay? Second part of our brain, the midbrain, which is not in the front, it's the middle of your brain, is the limbic, okay, part of your brain. And this is where you feel most of your emotions, okay? So the neocortex focuses strictly on logic and thinking. The limbic part of your brain focuses strictly on your emotions. And then last but not least, we have the reptilian part of our brains. And the reptilian part of our brains focuses strictly on instincts. Okay. Everything is instinct. So if someone pulled out a gun in front of you and put it to your face, you probably wouldn't get emotional and sad and go, oh, this sucks right now, or even think of a logical situation. You would get into that fight or flight response where that instinct would kick in, and you would just go based off of what you think is going to allow you to survive. So now these three parts of our brain will operate from two places. There's general cognition, and then there is social cognition. Social cognition. When you're thinking in terms of general cognition, this is the part of your brain that's being most activated. Okay, and I'm gonna put this in a different color so you guys can kind of get an overview. So this is the part of your brain that's being most activated. And what general cognition is like, imagine, you know, if you're spending hours and hours at the office just working on end with numbers, you're doing math, maybe anything that's has to do with logic that you have to sit down and use your brain, that's when we're in our general cognition. Now, there's also social cognition, okay? With social cognition, what happens is you use more of this side of the brain. Use the more instinct part of your brain mixed in with a little bit of emotion. Now, when it comes to social shyness, most of us, when we're actually feeling shy or anxious, we're completely operating from this part of our brain. It's the logical thinking aspect of our brain mixed in with a little bit of emotion. It creates that general cognition that doesn't allow us to go off of instinct when we want to, right? And when we're in social cognition, we use instinct, we use emotions. We don't have to think about our next steps. Now, the interesting thing about this is, as humans, even if you believe that you're, you know, introverted and all these different things, social cognition is our default. Which means as humans, and there's a good book that you can actually read up on this if you want to go a little bit more into detail. It's called Social by Matt Lieberman. And he goes really into detail on the subject. But our nature is that we're actually social creatures. That's why we've been able to survive. That's why we've been able to actually thrive in life. And it's just because we were social all this time. So when you are actually in general cognition, okay, let's say you're working at the office and you get out of the office, yes, of course you're going to feel shy. Of course you're not going to be able to easily get into social cognition. Matter of fact, to go from here to here will take you time. Okay, and for me specifically, if I was to give you an example, it takes me about 1.5 hours of social momentum before I can get into complete social cognition, where I'm just using the instinct part of my mind. Okay, so if I know that I'm going to take 1.5 hours to get into social cognition, then I have to put myself in places where when I want to go out, whether it's night game or day game, it's going to allow me to have 1.5 hours of buffer time so that I can get into social cognition mode. And I'm sure all of you guys have experienced this, where sometimes you feel extremely shy. You feel very low confidence. That's what they'll say, low confidence. Really, it's just you're in general cognition and you're uncertain about yourself. But you'll feel this low confidence and you'll feel shy. But there's other times where you're on fucking fire. You're just saying the right things. You're just spitballing and you don't have to think about it. The girl's laughing, the girl's loving you, all because you're just in social cognition. So let's get into the next thing, okay? Because I want to know what you guys are thinking right now. What do you guys associate with the word shy? Okay. What words do you associate with being shy? Okay, comment that in the comment section right now. What words do you actually associate with being shy? Okay. John says quiet. Yep, quiet. Being quiet, not expressive, right? Chris says timid, uncertain, right? Cool. Ramin says apologetic. Yeah, these are great answers. Vikram, yep, anxiety. Worried about others or seeking validation. Stays in their own world. What do you mean by stays in their own world? Describe that more into detail. Scared to bother anyone. Yeah, worried about others' validation, being a bother. Worried about rejection. Yeah. Okay. Worried about what other things other people think of you. Reserved. Yeah, quiet, non-expressive, reserved. Feeling bothering. Yeah, being a bother, right? So you guys have all these associations with being shy. Stifled, yeah, that's a good one. Okay, anxious, stifled. So the biggest thing is when we're actually feeling shy, and I'm going to put this quote right here, and I want you to like really write this down because this is what shyness really comes down to. You have a fear of a social threat or even consequence, okay, that isn't even a fact. And what I mean by this is you have an assumptive consequence. Okay, so you assume, yeah, if I go talk to this girl right now, or if I talk in front of all these people, that all these terrible things are going to happen. They're not going to like me. They're going to judge me. I'm probably going to say something stupid, right? And if they don't like me, no one's going to want to be around me. I'll end up being alone. But none of these are fact. It's all internal opinion. There's not 1 ounce or shred of evidence that this will happen. Okay, it's all assumptive consequences. Versus when you're in that instinct part, that social cognition part of your brain, I call this the present truth. Because really it's like, what is the current truth right now? Oh, everyone is talking. I'm going to go up and say something. If I say something dumb, people are probably not going to even remember it. They're probably not going to even remember it seconds after I say it. That's the present truth. Because in the present moment, the truth is that the consequences that you're thinking of, none of them are actually fact. None of them are actually going to happen. Okay? So to get into the first exercise, does that make sense? First of all, what social shyness is? Okay, having that fear of a social threat consequence that isn't fact. If that made sense, comment below yes. Okay, comment in the chat section yes, so we can get into the first few exercises. Chris says yes. Vikram says yes. Awesome. Marcel says yes. John says yes. Perfect. Awesome. Cool. So let's get into the first few questions that before even starting this program, before giving you any actual exercises to do or anything like that, these questions need to be answered, because if you don't have a strong enough why for why you want to actually overcome this social anxiety, the social shyness, that there's this threat in your mind that something bad is going to happen, then you're just not going to do it. Okay, so first off, I want you to answer in the comment section, how is shyness currently holding you back in life? Okay, we're going to take a few moments to think of this, and I want you to comment it in the comment section right now. Yeah, Ramin says not being able to express myself. Go a little bit deeper, man. So if you're not able to express yourself, how is that holding you back in your life? John says it's stopping me from really getting started on improving my dating and social life. It feels like a relief when I pussy out and stay home. Yeah, man, in your comfort zone. In your comfort zone. Yeah. And if you don't get your dating and social life handled, like how is that going to keep holding you back? Okay. Limiting my freedom and choices in life. Yep. Shyness is stopping me from taking action. Okay. Okay. I don't know if I would say I'm shy. I can speak easily. I just feel really anxious these days and use this as an excuse to not go out. My anxiety is energized by me thinking I'm not good enough. I'm not feeling social enough. I have not eaten healthy enough recently. Yeah, that's what shyness is, right? The perceived threats in your mind, the perceived social threats. It's like, oh, I'm not doing all these things right, so therefore I'm a fuck up, right? If I talk to them and they're gonna think of me as being weird or this or that. Yeah. Shyness is holding me back because I missed out on talking to a few hot girls in my university classes, so I have some regrets of not taking action. I only have 1 month left at UCSB and need to make the most of it each day. Fuck yes. Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. We don't want to have any regrets. Okay, cool. Awesome. So let's go into the next question, which is how will shyness continue to hold you back in life in the future if nothing changes? Okay, if nothing changes 5, 10 years from now, okay, 5, 10, 15, 50, etc., years from now, and you don't actually overcome your shyness, how's it going to continue to hold you back? What's going to happen then? What's going to happen in the future? Okay, take a few moments and actually comment this down below. Think about this. I will continue to live a life with a scarcity mindset instead of an abundance mindset. Yes. And if you continue to live your life in a scarcity mindset, go a little bit deeper. How is that going to hold you back? What's going to happen then? Okay. I'll end up one of those weirdos that lives alone and hangs out at Denny's at 2 a.m. on a Friday night. Yeah, man. Fuck all that. We don't want to be hanging out at Denny's at 2 a.m. on a Friday night. Yeah, that's a good example. All right, guys, what else? Dig a little bit deeper. I agree with John. I don't want to end up as a creep or one of these disgusting incels. Yeah, man. Yeah. We don't want to end up as an incel for sure. Okay. What else, guys? Keep thinking. Think ahead in the future. Think like, 5 years from now, what age will you be? Okay. If you allow to continue shyness holding you back, yeah, it's going to affect your career, ability to network and move ahead. Yeah, man, it's going to affect your money, right? You're going to lose out on money. Like you're not going to make enough money. And then if you don't make enough money, what's going to happen then? What's going to happen then? You're going to be in the rat race forever. You're going to be shy. You're going to be at fucking Denny's eating a burger at 2 a.m. I'll live life regretting. Yeah, man, regret. There's a good quote. The pain of taking action weighs in ounces. Regret weighs in tons. It's going to affect your mental health. When I see a girl I like and I don't step up, that usually comes through in depression later. Yeah, man, it's going to affect you for weeks, if not years, for you not taking action. Of course. 5 years from now, I want to be at a stage where I have not watched porn in forever. I want to have a satisfying sex life while I build up a business and work sports. Yeah, very important. All right, cool. Let's get into the next question. So, what then needs to happen for you to stop holding yourself back from the life you truly want? Okay. Take a few seconds to think about this, a few minutes to think about this, and comment it down below. Vic says, I don't know. You do know. You do know. What needs to happen, bro? Like, if nothing was, if there was nothing you were ever afraid of, okay? If there was nothing that you couldn't do, what needs to happen for you to really live the life that you want? You know exactly what that is. You know exactly what that is. YOLO, just do it. Yeah, that probably won't work. Dig a little bit deeper. I need to accept that there is going to be a period of my life where I experience a lot of social rejection and humiliation. Yeah, man, that's important. And if anything, actually having a paradigm shift where you don't view it as social rejection and humiliation. Yeah, that's very important. Being willing to fuck up, right? I need to take massive action to get at least 5 girls in my life so that I have the feeling of abundance. Okay, cool. So in order for you to get 5 girls in your life, like what needs to happen then? What needs to happen in order for you to get 5 girls into your life? Like what does massive action actually mean? Invest in mentors. Yes, very important. You've invested into this program, obviously, so that's important. You need to keep doing that. I guess it would be for me to stop feeling depressed and anxious, but then that feeling is a result of me not gaming, a weird thing. Yeah, it's a negative cycle loop. It's a negative cycle loop. Cool. Awesome. So next question is, what are the possibilities if I overcome my social shyness and anxiety? What are some of the possibilities, man? What could your future look like in 5-10 years? What are some possibilities? Comment down below. The possibilities. John says, just being able to relax and stop thinking about girls and pick up all the time, get this area handled. Yeah, man, have mental space where you don't constantly think about your social life. You can actually move on and do other areas of your life. Cool. The possibilities are having 5 girls that I can hook up with. Okay, cool. Why not 10? Why not 20? Why not 30? Like, why 5 specifically, right? Have day game experiences as good as yours or Austin or Vadim's. Yeah, man. Yeah, Vikram took a boot camp with me, so he knows. Oh, and Austin too. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Have friends. Yeah, man. Have a social life, right? Have people you can go out with, hit up, have fun with, just express. Yeah, very important. Okay, cool. Let's get into the next and last question. In the next 10 days, What big improvement do you want to have made socially? Okay, let's set a goal. This is very, very important stuff, guys. Without your why, without your compass, without the goals, you won't know why you're doing it. And then you're just not going to be consistent. That's the reason why most people fail whenever they're trying to do anything. Consistency trumps all. Consistency is the breakfast of champions, man. So let's see. In the next 10 days, what big improvement do you want to have made socially? Get a couple of dates, maybe make out with someone, if not pulling back to my room. That's a good goal. Make sure that you're not making a huge jump. Okay? Make sure it's a big improvement, not a huge jump. Okay? It's like the guy who says, like, I had a guy who came out to one of my seminars and he's like, yo, Mo, how do I pull threesomes? And I'm like, are you having twosomes regularly before you get into threesomes? Because if you're not having twosomes regularly, then you need to get that handled. Make sure it's not your hand and then jump into a threesome. So make sure it's a big improvement, but not impossible. Okay, date a new girl. What does date a new girl mean? Like go on another date, get a girlfriend. And again, whatever big improvement you want to have in the next 10 days, make sure it's an improvement, not a big jump. Okay? So it's an improvement. That's a big jump would be, I have zero social life right now. Okay? I have zero social life right now. And in the next 10 days, I want to have an orgy with 10 girls. That's a big jump. It's probably not going to happen. Okay? But I have no social life I can talk to people freely, or I talk to 10 people in the next 10 days, or, you know, I can easily go up to people and talk to them for 5 minutes. That's a big improvement. Okay. So do 10 approaches, get on 1 Insta date. That's good, man. That's good. I saw the video with you in Austin, so I think that's possible for you. That's possible. So I'd like to have done 5 approaches a day and start to feel the anxiety go down, start to feel more indifference. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's a very, very possible thing for you to do. Okay, cool. I like it. Awesome. So this is your why. This is your compass. Okay, if you guys haven't written it down, then you need to write it down right now. This is the goal that you need to have for yourself in the next 10 days, because we're going to move really fast. Like I said, over the next few days, we're going to dive deep into your mind and actually figure out like why it is that in here you feel social shyness. And then when you get the exercises, I'm not going to give you exercises that's going to be insane. Okay, I'm not going to tell you to go jump on people's backs or scream in public or anything like that. I don't think that's what you need. Okay, that's not what you need. You need to, one of the biggest things is making sure that you're doing exposure therapy. Okay. Part says, exactly, that's the goal I was having in my mind. First, let's start with 10, approaching 10 people in the next 10 days, and if possible, date with a girl. Okay, good, I like that, cool. So exposure therapy, the biggest important thing is they actually took a bunch of horses, okay? And if you take a horse in a car or in a buggy and you drive it on the highway and it's not used to it, it's gonna start going all over the place. And then what's going to happen is that car is going to get into a crash. So what they started doing is they started taking horses, and every single day they would take the horse and one meter at a time, they would tie it to a pole for a few hours a day, 1 meter at a time closer to the highway. And eventually they got to a point where they could take the horse all the way next to the highway, tie it to a pole, and the horse would not move a single muscle. And that's what you want to do with exposure therapy. It's like most people, they'll try to make these huge jumps. It's like they've never approached, and all of a sudden they'll go out and they'll try to approach 10 girls in one day or whatever. And that's just not going to help, bro. Like, it's going to be really, really difficult for you to do that if you haven't even walked up to a girl before. The same thing with the horse, right? They didn't take the horse and put it on the highway immediately because they knew the horse would freak out. And then it would probably have a traumatic experience. So over the next few days, we're going to make sure we're giving exposure therapy so that you're becoming more and more comfortable socially. All right, so that was all I wanted to cover today. We have about 5 minutes left. So if you guys have any questions, type it in the comment section and I'll go over them really, really quickly. All right. If you have any questions, I'm going to give you guys a few minutes. Type them over. But that's very important. Again, the answers to these questions, even if you want to take some time after this to think about them, go over them, give longer answers, really create that why, really create that compass, really create the reason why you want to actually overcome the social anxiety, the social nervousness. Otherwise, it's going to be really, really hard for you to stay consistent. And again, consistency is the breakfast of champions. Like anybody you know who's achieved something fucking great in their life, whether it's in their social life, dating life, relationships, career, business, health, everything came from consistency. There was not one part of their life that didn't come from consistency. So with your big why, with your big purpose, with your big vision, the compass that's driving you, it's going to be the thing that's going to drive you to actually take consistent action. Okay. So Vikram says, is there anything specific we should be doing pickup wise tomorrow? Not yet. Again, over the next 3 days, we're going to just be focusing on a lot of the theory aspects and going deeper into the mind. Okay. So don't try to jump into it super quickly. We're going to get into exercises later on. But again, we need to cover this basic stuff first, because without it, if I give you exercises right now, you're not going to be able to do anything or be consistent with the process. Okay. How to overcome social anxiety if you come from a conservative family where dating girls is not normal. Yeah, we're going to dive into this tomorrow, actually. I believe I sent it on the Telegram group. Yeah, I sent it on the Telegram group telling you guys exactly what we're covering. So tomorrow we're going to cover the 4 types of social anxiety. And then on day 3, we're going to cover what actually triggers your shyness, which is really, really important. Okay. Most likely, yeah, conservative family, a lot of traumatic experiences, whether socially or throughout your life in general, might be triggers for social anxiety. And then on top of that, you have to understand what kind of social anxiety you have. And there's specifically 4 types so that you can create the plan to actually overcome it. And I'm going to share the plan tomorrow with you guys as well. Okay, cool. So that's it for today. Okay. Really just going over the basics. Make sure you take some time even after this call. The replay is going to be uploaded all the time, is going to be uploaded into the Telegram, okay, a few hours afterwards. So make sure to watch the replay if you want to go over those questions again. Really dig deep, sit down, think about your answers, think about your big why, think about your big vision, your big purpose, so that we can make sure we stay consistent with everything that we do. Michael Bills asks, the hardest part for me is getting started. Once I do 2 approaches, I start to get momentum and feel good. Yeah, I know. The hardest part is starting for every single person. Again, because you're going from general cognition, which is really hard to get out of, into trying to get into social cognition. So again, we're going to share over the next few days. We're going to go dive deep, understand what's triggering that shyness. And then once we get into the exercises, we're going to do exposure therapy so that you can have the process ready to just be out there and take action very, very easy. Okay. I was doing some approaches at the mall and I don't want to shit where I eat. Do you think people would catch on, or is that all in my head? Depends, bro. Do you work at the mall? If you work at the mall, yeah, man, you don't want to shit where you eat. But if you don't work in the mall, you want to switch up your environments from time to time. Don't like go to the same, just because it gets boring for yourself. Like if you go to the same environments every single fucking time, it's gonna get boring. So switch up the environments. If you don't work at the mall or anything like that, then yeah, man, it's all in your head. Again, it's that triggering of that social shyness that's coming in. I don't work there. Yeah, you're overthinking it. We're going to cover this into detail. All right, guys, this was super, super fun. Hopefully you got some value out of this, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the call tomorrow. All right, guys, I hope you had fun. Thanks, dude. Take care.